So you've been watching a lot of 1972 Woodsman, and the story about his uncle's Buck 110 has you curious. And you're trying to decide whether or not you're going to spend the less than $40 it takes to buy one of these knives. And so you've clicked on this video looking for a 24-year-old's opinion on a knife design that's 30 years older than he is. And yes, I am talking about myself in third person. I'm going to stop now. The Buck 110 is a design that was originally released in 1964. That means that this design is 54 years old, and it has remained relatively unchanged since then. The knife is constructed entirely of a full brass frame with wooden handles and, of course, a steel blade and steel backspring and lock. This is, from what I understand, the first knife to use the lock back design, so a lot of knives have been inspired by this knife design. Being that this knife is constructed entirely of brass, wood, and steel, it is a fairly heavy knife. I would think it's probably somewhere a little bit under a pound, maybe like 14 ounces or something like that. I didn't weigh it. I'm sure there's other people out there who have weighed this knife. I'm sure there's a billion reviews out there on this knife. It's been around for 54 years. So yeah, many Americans over the years have carried this knife. Many uncles, grandfathers, and fathers have carried this knife. A lot of younger boys back in the day. This used to be like a sign of manhood when you got your Buck 110. It's like a big piece of like Americana as far as a lot of people are concerned, honestly. And the knife design is definitely still usable, and I actually enjoy it quite a bit. When you get this knife, it does come with a leather belt sheath that you can put it in and carry it in because it's such a heavy knife. I think a lot of people actually do carry it in the belt sheath. I tend to not do that just because I already carry like a handgun, and yeah, I don't really want any more stuff on my belt than I need. Sometimes when I'm hiking, I'll put it on in the belt sheath and carry that on my belt. The sheath is made out of leather. I believe the sheath is made in Mexico. Let me see if it says here. No, it doesn't say. But I think the sheath is made in like Mexico. The knife, of course, is made in the United States of America. I think it's made in Idaho. But yeah, so under $40 for an American-made knife that is an American classic. This knife's blade is a clip point, and a rather aggressive clip point. It comes to a very sharp point. You need to be careful with this knife so you don't accidentally stab yourself with it. When it comes out of the box, it is very sharp. I was impressed by that. It was already hair shaving sharp. Yeah, and it's held that edge very well. This is the Bucks 420 HC with the Boss heat treat, and the Boss heat treat must be friggin' awesome because I have had absolutely no issues with this knife holding an edge. It holds an edge way better than Case's True Sharp or their chrome vanadium steel. This blade holds an edge very well, better than pretty much every budget steel I have experience with. So yeah, definitely don't knock the Buck 110 just because it's under $40 and its blade is 420 HC. This knife is a knife that can easily last you the rest of your life, honestly. So if you're interested in having a knife that is a very important part of knife history, being that it was the first knife to use the lockback design, you can pick up a standard Buck 110 at any Walmart for under $40. And for that price point, you can't really go wrong with this knife. It has been excellent quality, and it is a very good knife as far as I am concerned.